So I've got 3 photos here of my best friend Nikki. We're celebrating her birthday. Some friends have made her a pie, and I'm just figuring out how I'm going to divide them up. I think I've decided to do the 2 vertical pictures together and put the horizontal photo on the next page facing. So I've grabbed some plain white cardstock, and I'm going to start fishing for what else I'm putting on the page. I've decided rather than a lot of layers, I'm just going to do a lot of embellishment backs because I have a ton of birthday stuff. And I accidentally grabbed Tidy Swap instead of my birthday stuff, so I went ahead and pulled out a banner, a Color Magic one that I'm going to dye later. And then I'm going through the birthday ephemera here. Basically anything that looks like the colors will work. She's wearing a very pink shirt. I'm going to pull those out. And anything that's super cupcakey and such, I'm going to leave to the side. Because this is very specifically a pie, and that bothers me to mix those. And then I also have pictures of us eating cake with her the next week with her dad. So I went ahead and pulled out the cake ephemera stuff and just laid it to the side so it would already be out. You can see how confused I am here trying to figure out what these letters spell. Because I'm looking at them, I'm thinking, is this supposed to spell happy birthday? Where are the rest of the letters? And it's not until the very end that I realize it spells party. I actually go back twice to dig for more balloons, trying to figure out what it might be saying. Which is a little dumb, but hey, it happens. So I'm still digging through, like there's some donuts, and I think there's maybe a bow bunny ephemera pack in there too, just because the color's kind of coordinated, which is where that clear acetate piece I just pulled out goes. It says thank you so much, and I thought, hey, it matches and it'll add some texture by being a different kind of material. So here I'm just sorting out what kinds of ephemera go together so I can decide what I'm going to do with them. And I think I'm starting to realize that it's going to leave a lot of white space on this page, regardless of how many things I put on it. So I'm just sorting and trying to decide. There I am realizing it says party, and I'm like, oh, that's not supposed to say happy birthday. Duh. Not the smartest. I'm grabbing some foam tape there and realizing I want that to pop up. This is very thin foam tape from the Dollar Tree, so I often have to decide if I'm going to do 1 layer or 2, and you can usually see the debate as I'm taping. How high do I want this to stick up? Nope, that's not very high yet. I think on this particular one, I wanted to make sure that you could tell it was dimensional and not just slightly raised, because I wanted it to actually drop a shadow on the package behind it. I'm deciding, I think, that I want to use that party for my title, and if I do that, I can't quite put the banners where I wanted them to be. So I'm actually going to end up pulling that to go on the facing page, because it just looks too busy with the banners up there next to the word party. And she's got that pink shirt, so I'm really going to try to make that pink hat work. But the more I fussed with it, the more I hated it. I actually don't think I ended up using 2 hats at all. At least not those 2. I was quite frustrated. I've got that acetate piece down at the very bottom, kind of cut off, that says the thank you so much. And I'm just gonna cut a piece of foam tape in half to fit on the back of that banner that says birthday, and I'll put it over the party so it says birthday party, which is, you know, such a clever title. I'm not the fastest scrapper, but I think this entire page took maybe 45 minutes. So I feel like it's faster than some, but definitely not fast enough to not be boring while I'm filming my first process video. It dawned on me that there was a lot of white space on the page, and I have an entire pack of Project Life, maybe. I think they may actually be We Are Memory Keepers. Celebration themed cards from Tuesday morning that I picked up for $2 on clearance. And I'm just flipping through the fronts and backs trying to decide what does and doesn't go with it. I'm going to go ahead and pull a couple for the facing page as well, just so that they're all together. I've decided that that bottom picture is actually her blowing out the candles, so I'm going to go with that blow out the candles card, because like I said, I'm super clever. I'm just such a smart person. Actually, I think scrapbooking companies just make it super easy to not have to think, because there are so many sentiments already written out so cleverly and cutely that why should I have to put a lot of time into thinking of what to say? That's what journaling is for. But anyway, I know there's not going to fit a big card on that page that I have started, but I know that one will fit on the next page because there's only that one photo, so I go ahead and pull one. So I'm just going to put those cards for the next page to the side and look at where I want these to go to make them fit. That one card with the candles on it is white, so I'm thinking I'm going to put that acetate piece on top. But then I'm thinking, that white's going to blend right into the background, so I end up popping it up, and I only pop it up on one layer of the tape. But I don't particularly like how much it blends in, so I'm thinking, what am I going to do? And there's that black up there at the top, and I wanted to mirror at the bottom, so I'm going to fish around until I can find some washi tape that matches. Which I just happen to have a polka dotted one. I think, that'll work. You can see me pondering my options. And I cave and just go with it. Why not? And what I'm doing may actually be out of frame here in a second. I'm going to cut a triangle off the end so that it makes a banner shape, and just run it across the very bottom of the page up maybe 1/8 of an inch. Just enough that... Oh, that's not what I'm going to do first. First, I'm going to try to frame the photo. Because I was thinking that'd be cool. I'd have a black border all the way around the photos. And then I started to realize how hard it was going to be to get it to match up between all of them and gave up. Yeah, fundamentally lazy. I should probably have just cut this part out. I think I fiddled with it for quite a while. But yeah, I get it centered on the top, and then it's not centered on the bottom, and then I try to center it in the middle, so that the dots are even on each end, and it cuts off most of the dots on the bottom. And then I wiggle it just a little bit, and it cuts off most of the dot on the top, and I'm like, no, it's just over. So I peel one off and stick it up on the top of my lamp to use later. And peel off the bottom one, cut the banner shape, and then stick it back on as a banner. I feel like I'm leaving a lot of time where I say absolutely nothing. But like I said, first video to ever film, so I'm trying not to feel too bad about it. But there we have the mirroring of the black and on the top and the bottom. I like that it goes diagonally, and it made the page feel more complete to me. So then I'm looking at it and I'm thinking that's still a lot of white space. So I'm going to go ahead and put some color shine on that. After I'm going to staple that acetate piece on there. And my old Tiny Tot stapler is not working for some reason, so I check and it's still got staples. I'm thinking, okay, then it's going to staple for me. And lo and behold, it still just won't staple. So I go find my other tiny stapler that uses full-size staples instead of tiny staples. And it's in my box of doodads. I'm digging for it right now. I just cleaned up my crafting space and I can't find anything, and it's super frustrating. Box of doodads, stapler. So then I go to staple this, and I get one in, and I'm like, okay, I want a second one, and then I realize it's completely out of staples. So then I still have to refill the staples. But then I'm looking over in the box, and I'm like, oh, there's twine in that box. I can use the twine on my balloons and make them super cute. So when it says party, they actually have streamers, which is a great idea, except I hate it later. Spoilers. So there's my second staple, finally. And then the color shine like I promised. I just wanted to kind of get some of that black going across so that it was a little less just flat behind the photos, but I really didn't want the page getting super busy. I was quite enjoying how plain it was, and then I go a little overboard here, but once I put all this stuff on it, you can't even tell what I've splattered behind. Sometimes I don't like getting splatters on my, like, the cards, the journaling cards and Project Life cards. I don't like it when I get my splatters on them. So if I realize that's what I want before I attach them, like if I realize I want to splatter the page before I've glued them down, I take everything off and glue it down. So while I'm waiting on that to dry, I'm going to go ahead and attach little pieces of twine to the back of each of the balloons. I'm sitting here cutting them all the same length. I don't even know why I'm doing this. I knew looking at it, I was like, that's really thick. It's going to be super awkward. And I just couldn't seem to stop myself. It had to be done. Oh, and I'm left-handed, so as I'm sitting here trying to cut things, I have like no dexterity with my right hand and scissors, but I don't have any left-handed scissors, and I never learned to cut left-handed either. So I'm just really bad at cutting things in general. And so I have to like hack at things because I don't angle the scissors together the correct way. But anyway, that's weird. So I'm pulling 5 little pieces of tape here so I can tape my 5 little streamers to the back, and then I have 1 extra little piece so that I can make a bow around all of them, holding them together and be super adorable. And then it dawned on me that the reason I was working on this instead of the other was that the color shine was wet. So you see me check the fronts of them like, I didn't get any ink on this, right? No, it's good. It's all good. And I don't know why I'm particularly using this washi tape to tape things on. I like it and I don't have a ton of it. It was just wasteful, I suppose. Especially since I don't even end up using it. Right here looking at it, it's not so bad. But there was something about the way that the ribbon had all crimped, and then the twine, and the fact that I was trying to pull it all together, and it felt so bulky to me looking at it. I was just not pleased. See there, I'm gonna struggle and tie a tiny little bow because I have tiny little fingers and they don't like small things. And then I finish the bow and I get it pulled down and I look at it and I'm like, that looks like trash. It just looked like a hot mess of string to me. I was not pleased. Ugh. I'm not sure when I'm ever going to use that twine that I bought. I bought it maybe 8 or 9 months ago, and I have used maybe 3 pieces. I don't know. It always feels so thick. Not a huge fan of that. I feel like it makes my pages feel super heavy. There I am, like, sawing through the string. Because I was just not meant to cut things right-handed or left-handed. But yeah, the way I cut angles the blades away from each other instead of towards each other, which is the way most people cut. And so it takes a lot more pressure and, like, tension for me to manage to actually cut thread. But anyway, so here I'm going to pop up that piece that I put the acetate on. because I realized I don't like it touching the paper because it's white. I want it to have a little bit of shadow behind it, but I don't want it to interfere with that package I'm putting over there, so I only pop it up one layer instead of two. So I'm putting the things back down to try to figure out like where the balloons are going to go in relation to the bits of stuff I'm laying around. I'm putting those hats back up there, and I said I really don't like the hats, and I'm not sure what I'm doing. Because I feel like it looks like I'm putting the hat on my best friend, but I really don't like it looking like that. So I kind of shift it down as much as I can, and then put the hats back on, and then move them and take them off, move them and take them off. This is when I realize I just really hate that twine, so I pull it all off. Leave the tape on the back. I'm like, whatever. And I start thinking about it, and I'm like, you know what I could do? I could pop up some of the balloons and not the others so it looks nice and dimensional going across, and then draw in the streamers and just be as creative as I want, use a marker, and of course that ends horribly as well. But here I am sticking up or popping up the P and the R and the Y so that it just looks a little more like actual floaty things instead of like I adhered a line of circles. I'm sorry, I don't know why my camera keeps auto-focusing quite so much. Like I said, first video, it was definitely a learning experience. So there's the T, and then I'm going to pop on the Y. And I'm going to find my marker and start doing some streamers. I'm like, yeah, I got this. I'm going to draw where the bow is going to go right down there because this is where my things were going to hang out. So if I have a really cute bow right there. But then that bow I drew was ugly, so I start my streamer coming down and my marker doesn't want to work and it doesn't want to work, and I'm thinking, what's wrong with you? Can't you just do what I want you to do? So I find my other one, because of course I am too. And see, here it doesn't look so bad until you get to those bow loops that I did. I'm really not a big fan of those. But the top half of these streamers are kind of cute, and I'm looking at it now like, man, why couldn't I just stop when I was ahead and I could have put the card right over that? And think, no, I want to draw pretty little streamy bits. And then it just looks like a hot mess. Oh, look at that ugly little bow. Why would you do that? So I'm thinking, nah, that's gone. I'm just going to cover up the entire bottom half of that as best as I can. And I'm trying to figure out what to do with that orange package. I couldn't decide if it wanted to be right with the other package or in the bottom corner, and of course it ends up in neither of them. But I am ready to commit to where my photos are, so I'm going to pop one down, and then I decide, ooh, if I offset the one above it, I actually really like that. So I end up not stacking them directly on top of each other, so it's a little more fun looking and a little less, oh, look how rigid Sarah is, which is what tends to happen when I scrapbook. And that actually bumps the photo down just enough that I can put that hat overlapping the photo just a little bit, and it doesn't look like she's wearing it, which pleased me. Looking at this now, I actually really liked that second hat. Maybe I'll go back and add it, because I'm pretty sure I don't put it on anything. I'm thinking, oh, if I put the pink one, it matches her shirt, but the pink one was really big, and it just felt so large. And then I just gave up. I was like, no, I just won't put anything there. It'll be fine. So I'm finally starting to commit to things. I mean, I basically knew what I was doing before, but this is when I'm really making that. I don't know. My roller glue comes up, but once I stick down anything on that foam, it's done. It's completely done. It's never coming up again. I can't decide if I've been like super impressed with it or really annoyed. Because every time I use it, I'm like, I wonder if I like this or if I hate it. And right there is when I decide that I really like that diagonal line across the bottom. Starting up with the blue package and then going downward. I really like how that looks a lot better. Especially considering that that's the left page on a 2-page layout. I do end up writing that blue package, though. I mean, originally it was a little bit askew on purpose, and then I was like, no, it needs to go up and down. Then I realized there's a dot of yellow paint, and I have no idea where it came from. So I took a red marker and very carefully colored it in so it wouldn't show. I don't think you can really tell unless you're right up on top of it staring. Then I have these Mambi stick birthday stickers, and I'm just going to pull some out and stick them down. I tend to forget I have birthday things when I start working on birthday pages. So then I finish them and I'm like, oh man, I bought all that birthday stuff. When am I ever going to use it? See there, I just now remembered I even had that birthday tab already pulled. But, so I was really excited that I remembered I had birthday die cuts, birthday cards, and birthday stickers for this layout. So it gets to be very birthday. I'm going to stick a yay down at the bottom. And I added a yippee up at the top. And then I found a big scripty one that said friends, and I really wanted to use it. Like, really wanted to use it. So you can see me trying to figure out where it's gonna go. I'm like, can I put it there? Can I put it under the party? But then it says birthday party friends, which is a little odd. And then it looked like it said birthday party friends 1 year older. And I was like, ew. So I just stick it over the picture of Nikki and her friend. I'm like, whatever. It'll go there. Yippee, friends. Yay, we have them. Go me. I don't know. And I'm like, good, that's done. I'm happy. I'll go with it. And then I put it aside so I can start working on page 2. So, catch the next one. Bye.